What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. Got for you the review for Friday Night Smackdown. And this was a different Friday Night Smackdown. For this Smackdown, despite not having Roman Reigns on it, felt very different. It felt like someone else was at the helm. And pretty much it was. There were talks, Paul Heyman being in control, being back in creative, but you could definitely tell somebody else was helming this because it felt different. It just had this different energy, right? And that's mostly because we were just hoping for it to be different because we know Triple H is in charge of creative. But it was different because the first thing they did to start off the show was a match. And I have not seen that in quite some time. It's been a minute since we've seen the Soldier start straight with a match. No promo, no nothing, just a straight match, right? And the first match of the night is Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus in a good old fashioned I already forgot what they called it. I should have wrote it down, but I forgot what they called it. But it was basically, when it came down to it, was just a no DQ match. It was just a no DQ match, and anything goes, no DQ. And it was a great way to start the show because it was the best match of the night. I think it was the best match of the night, and I can say that because it had near falls, it had tension, it had build to it. Like Sheamus hit the bro kick, and Drew McIntyre kicked out of it, and it was just like holy crap! Like not even the interference from Butch and Ridge Hollins could stop Drew McIntyre. Well, on the count that we already know that Drew McIntyre was supposed to be facing Roman Reigns at Clash at the Castle anyway, so it was a foregone conclusion that he was going to win. But the way how they did, even though we know he was going to win because it was already set up for that, it was a good thing to see. The way they built it, the tension, everything they did in the match, even though you knew, it made for good television. And with that, Drew McIntyre won with a Claymore. And he will face the winner of tonight's SummerSlam match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns at Clash at the Castle. Then we pretty much, the thing that was different, it wasn't a lot of promos. It was some backstage promos here and there. I think it was it was backstage promo with Theory and stuff. I think there was one with Theory that came up after this. Yeah, because Theory attacked Drew McIntyre at the end of the match after he won, because there was a backstage. Not backstage, but in the ring, he was getting interviewed by Kayla about how he felt about the match and him going to Clash of the Champions. But before he could get fully into it, Austin Theory attacked him. Then, when we come back for commercial break, he was interviewed backstage about why he attacked him, and he told Austin Theory said he basically attacked him to prove a point that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Drew McIntyre won a #1 contenders match to face the champion at Clash of the Castle, because that champion would be him, and blah blah blah. Then we got back to the ring. Sashi Blackheart is already out in the ring for her match against Aaliyah. Apparently, it was supposed to be Aaliyah versus Lacey Evans again for like the umpteenth time. And apparently, Lacey Evans is out injured. Everybody's injured apparently now. Like they said, she suffered an injury and is unable to compete, which I don't understand how, because she's haven't really competed since Money in the Bank, unless she suffered an injury in Money in the Bank. But yeah, this was an okay match. It was a good. It wasn't like the first match, but it was okay because Aaliyah and Sashi finally got to have a match on TV with Sashi Blackheart actually signing. She got a victory here, so things starting a little different. It wasn't bad, but it was it had a little hiccups there and there. I think it was a part that was weird where it was a set like Sashi. Aaliyah did something, and I think she kicked like Sashi in the stomach, and Sashi was like, "Oh," and then Aaliyah just stood there with her back to it, like she was about to run the ropes, but she just stood there looking at Aaliyah stood there looking at Sashi for a minute for some reason, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot," and then she took off and ran into the ropes. I'm like, what was that about? But other than that, the match was good. It was okay. Well, I won't say good. Okay. Then we got a backstage promo with Liv Morgan and Ronda, who was basically taking pictures for the SummerSlam match, and they would get interrupted by Sonya Deville and Natalya, who basically was talking. Who Natalya was basically talking trash about how. She should live it all up, tell her live it up, soak it all in because Ronda is going to beat you and take that title back, and the only reason why you got that title because of blah, blah, blah. And then, Sonya Deville cuts in, and just out in the middle of all that, Ronda's just like, she just take off, right? So you just see Liv argue with the two of them, and then all of a sudden, Sashi is still in the ring, getting ready to cut in, like, in the middle of a promo, talking about how basically I do like she was getting ready to talk about Leah, but then Ronda's music cut in, and Ronda wants her to give her the mic and get out the ring, but she said, "You want this mic? You're gonna have to take it." And basically she got beat up. She took the mic and told her, it was like, "Bye, Santi," and then Santi just rolled out the ring and left, and she was like, "Holy crap!" And then so Ronda cut the promo saying that she want Liv to come out here so they could both. So she tired of talking. She want basically she want Liv to come out here so they could show Sonya and Natalya why they're in the championship match tomorrow night at SummerSlam, because everybody wants to be part of the title picture and wants to know why they not. I think a fan had said something to her. I think she told the fan. I think the first thing I know what she said next, but I can't remember. I think she said, "Shut up," and your mom failed you. She like buried this guy in Atlanta. But yeah, so then that actually transitioned to the next match on the card, which is Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey versus Sonya Deville and Natalya, which was a good tag team match. It had good pace. It seemed like another thing had changed is that everybody had a decent amount of time. It wasn't a quick match, but it wasn't a long match and it wasn't a quick match. It was just a decent time to put some things into perspective and get things hyped for SummerSlam. And the match was okay. The theme here, though, with this match was that Liv, after being tagged in by Ronda, Liv did not want to tag in Ronda no more. Like, Liv was like, Liv just kept, every time it looked like she needed to tag, she wouldn't tag Ronda and just kept, like, trying to do it going on her own. She kept trying to dish up the punishment. And it was coming to a point where even the commentators was like, "What are you doing? You need to tag out because you need to save yourself for Ronda at the pay-per-view. Like, you're starting to take too much of a beating." And it's like she just kept trying to prove to Ronda that she could take beatings and dish them out and basically come out on top. She was trying to prove something to Ronda. But Ronda finally got the tag in when Liv basically crawled over using the ropes to stand. She crawled over there, used the rope to stand up, got Ronda tagged herself in, and basically they ended the match from there as victorious, but then staring each other down. The first actual proper promo tonight which was the Street Profits and the Usos, along with Jeff Jarrett, which was called the Jeff Jarrett's referee address, where he's going to explain. He was supposed to be there to explain the rules, lay down the ground rules for their match tomorrow night. And basically, what ended up happening was each side, like the Usos, and they basically cut the promo saying like, "Is it a disqualification if I do this and that?" To the Street Profits, and both sides just kept doing that back and forth. Like I think Jay said it's a disqualification. They take these titles and bash them over their heads and whatnot. And Jeff Jarrett told him, "Look, he said, there's only one rule, only one job I got to do tonight that I care about is that I got to count to 1, 2, 3 tomorrow night or today." And but that's tomorrow night. Tonight is a different story. It's that y'all got a little animosity that y'all need to get out y'all system. So I want y'all to go ahead and if y'all feeling froggy, which one of y'all just go ahead and jump? And they start brawling, to which Jeff Jarrett, kept getting, he would try to sit on the turnbuckles and watch it, but they kept like going over by him and each turnbuckle. Then he ended up getting super kicked by Jay, and Jay and him try to apologize to him because they know he's the referee. They don't want him to screw them over, but Jay is visibly pissed off. The next match we got was the New Day versus the Viking Raiders. Now, this will be the last match of the night, but not the last segment of the night. But this would be, so that you could consider this your main event match, where basically the New Day and the Viking Raiders, they had a great little match. It was okay. I mean, it was okay and it was fun. It was better. I felt like it was different and scripted better here, and they both sides got to showcase why they good in the ring. So that's why this is why it felt different to me, because it felt like they both were showcasing. They both got to showcase why they was good. It wasn't a lot of talking. They just basically got to the ring, got into action. But in the end, the Viking Raiders hit a double power bomb. Or I would say double team power bomb on Kofi Kingston for the win. And then after the match, they would throw Kofi out the ring and put Xavier Woods' leg, the one that he had his injury, the one he just recovered from injury with, in between the chair, and use their shields, and they both double slammed their shields on the chair to like basically make it look like they snapped his ankle and stuff again. To which he had to be helped out after they left the ring. Now your main event segment was the last thing of the night was this promo that's been advertised all night, which is Paul Heyman's special address, special console special address, which for the promo part, this is probably the only part in the show that felt the same as the past couple of weeks. This is only because this is what happens when you don't have Roman Reigns on the show, and you do have Brock Lesnar on the show, but you don't have Roman Reigns on the show, so they can sell the match themselves. So you got Paul Heyman out here basically trying to, cutting the same promo about why Roman Reigns is going to be victorious, why Brock Lesnar is who he is, blah, blah, blah. And out comes Brock Lesnar, who looked like he's basically getting ready to destroy Paul Heyman. But he would be interrupted by Austin Theory, who would attack Brock Lesnar. But Brock Lesnar would beat up Austin Theory, but Austin Theory with his briefcase and hand with, I think he got threw out the ring a little bit, or he got German suplex and he just rolled out the ring, grabbed his briefcase and tried to escape from Brock Lesnar, but only managed to turn around and get Claymore about Drew McIntyre, who paid him back from his attack earlier in the night. And that was your main event. Oh, and afterwards, Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre had a stare down, as Brock Lesnar could be his potential opponent at Clash of the Castle. with that being said, this was a decent episode. I haven't said this in a long time, but this was a decent episode going into a pay-per-view. And the first time in a long time, this felt actually good and fresh and refreshing. We didn't get a lot of repeat matches, and we didn't. I think the only repeat was Sashi versus Aaliyah, because I think we've seen that before. But everything else was a fresh, good match, and if it was a repeat match like Sheamus and Drew, it was something different though. They added something to make it fresh. But this just felt like a fresh start in the right direction. With that being said, I'm gonna be generous because I actually enjoyed this episode. So I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 big ups, just because it felt good. And a 7, that's good. That means that was a good episode. Or you know what? No, 7 is okay. I forgot 7. 7 is okay. No, 6 is okay. 7 is good. Yeah, 7 is good. But yeah, you let me know in the comments down below what you thought, because this episode was okay to me. I mean, it was good to me. It was good. You let me know in the comments down below what you thought, and if you enjoyed this video, hit this button right there in the upper right corner for all of my WWE reviews. And if you enjoyed this video so much, want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit those buttons. And as always, hit one of these videos for more amazing content. But don't go anywhere, because you know I got more coming for you. Peace out.